Trinidad and Tobago, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. It's a pleasure to be here on this lovely Tuesday night. Penelope Beckles Robinson is now officially the opposition leader in the House of Representatives, where she will lead the 12 other MPs of the PNM administration against a government holding 26 seats. There are also 2 seats held by the Tobago People's Party, which has yet to indicate whether it will remain independent or align with either the United National Congress or the PNM. Speaking at her swearing-in ceremony this afternoon, Beckles firstly acknowledged Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, historic second term in office, and reflects on their personal connections. Listen to this.
You allow me to pause and first extend warm congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, SC, on her second term in office. Madam Prime Minister, your leadership is historic, and today it carries even deeper meaning for me personally, as I stand here not only as leader of the opposition, but also as a former student once seated in your classroom. Your journey from educator to Prime Minister serves as a profound reminder that our nation remains a land of possibilities.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the opposition leader said she accepts her new role with pride, with a sense of humor, and also a duty to the citizens. Beckles also pledged to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago while promising to be a voice for the youth and those among us in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
Today's ceremony is the public acknowledgement of a solemn pledge that I have long internalized, a pledge to serve you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, with love, humility, diligence, integrity, and unwavering commitment. It is this pledge that has guided every decision during my years of service, whether in government, opposition, or on international assignment. I serve not for me, but for you, the people. I serve for you, the parent who dreams of a better life for their children. I serve for you, the entrepreneur in need of support to thrive. I serve for you, the young person who desires to further your education. I serve for you, the recent graduate seeking decent work. I serve for you, the student who needs special support to attain your educational goals. I serve so that the spirit of our national anthem transcends mere words. Here, every creed and race must find an equal place.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we made history today. Now, for the last few days, we were saying that there are 3 women in power. We were saying that, mouth was saying that. Good? Today, we can actually say that there are 3 women in power in Trinidad and Tobago. We can actually say that today. Before, mouth was saying anything. You know, you can say, I could drive. But unless you get your license to be qualified to drive on the road, then you could drive. So today, we have Kamla Persad-Bissessar as the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. We have Penelope Beckles Robinson as the opposition leader of Trinidad and Tobago, which is the PNM. And we have Christine Kangaloo, I believe is the Speaker for the House. 3 powerful women in Trinidad and Tobago. The President, Christine Kangaloo, the President, my mistake. Yeah, she's one in the opposition and the minister. 3 powerful women that governs Trinidad and Tobago from today. From today, Tuesday, the 6th of May, going forward, it will be 3 women. 3 role models. 3 of them. Where's the leadership of the men in the house? They're going to rest. They're going to rest. So Trinidad and Tobago, from Real Talk Studios, we want to congratulate these 3 ladies to 3 distinguished positions, 3 prominent positions, 3 high-ranking positions in Trinidad and Tobago. This is making history. Tonight is a night of history being created in Trinidad and Tobago. So for those of you who didn't know that, for those of you who did not acknowledge it, well, tonight you heard it. For those of you who may not look at it as that way, tonight you're going to look at it different. So I, Saieed, being a loud voice in Trinidad and Tobago that everybody knows, let's see how these 3 women are going to come together for a better Trinidad and Tobago. A better Trinidad and Tobago. Now Trinidad. It's a lot of things that is going to take place in our country in the coming days. In the coming days. Now, she also rejected the idea of the opposition being defined by hostile and described her appointment as a moment of possibility for young women. Speaking this afternoon, the Martin North East Member of Parliament, Clongenberg, have stated that he set his sight on the position of Vice Chairman and hopes Dr. Nian Gaspi-Dolly will be Chairman of the PNM. Now, he asked, though, on Dr. Keith Rowley revoking his appointment, the deputy political leader in Booth said Rowley was entitled to do so. Listen to this.
He was entitled to do that.
Were you surprised? Was it unbeknownst to you and Dr. Dolly?
Yes, it was.
And what are your thoughts about that?
I was surprised.
Would you be offering yourself or open to positions today, such as chairman or vice chairman?
Yes.
And who else are you seeing if you're going up for chairman or vice chairman?
Vice chairman.
And who would you like to see to be chairman?
Nian Gaspi-Dolly.
Thank you so much.
Trinidad and Tobago, you will find Clong looking a little depressed, a little frustrated. You will find, so look how nice and humbled he answered questions. Nice, in a smooth, honestly way. He answered every single question that was asked of him. He didn't rail up and fight up and be this big bad. No, he humbled himself. You see, when you realize you lost the touch of power, you just get like a cold cucumber in the fridge. A cold cucumber in the fridge. It's sad. I was shocked to see him so humble. Because you know he always frisky from the media. It's sad. One day you have all the power to control the world, and the next day you even have the power to get up from your bed. That's what I always tell people. Don't let power get to your head, you know. Because you're going to feel you're on top of the world. Look at Clong now. Clong under the world. The world on top of him. It's so amazing how he answered all his questions. Without busy to go somewhere. It's a sad thing. But nevertheless, they look for that. On her first official day, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar was forced to work from home due to what Minister in the office of the Prime Minister, Barry Pazarat, says is a dysfunctional and unfit state of Whitehall in Port of Spain. Listen to this.
There are several options that are available to the Prime Minister. At this point in time, the reason why we thought it necessary to meet with the Permanent Secretary is that this facility is not a functional facility. There are challenges here The PS just shared with us that there are parts of the building that cannot be used because there are a lot of flooding. There are health issues with respect to mold and so on. The Cabinet Secretariat does not function out of this facility. And as you know, the Cabinet Secretariat is really the hub of the operations of the government. And we were quite surprised to come here today and find out that essentially the government cannot run and function out of this office. So some of those things will be brought to the attention of the Honorable Prime Minister. We will have to make some decisions in terms of how we go forward.
So viewers also contacted Pasad Business and confirmed that she was advised again going to Whitehall due to the moles problem. Patharat took further aim at the former PNM administration for the state of the office.
Those were some of the things that the PS raised with us. We will now go back to the Honorable Prime Minister and indicate what is available to her in terms of creating a quick fix so that it doesn't hamper the operations of an incoming government. But we are quite surprised and shocked at the level of dysfunctionality that existed with the prior administration in terms of this facility being really an area which should have been the hub of the operations of the government.
So now viewers, over the years, Whitehall have served as a central administrative hub for the government. Most recently, post-cabinet briefing had been returned to the office by Rowley. According to the National Trust, the building was restored twice. First in 2000, after which it continued to be occupied by the Office of the Prime Minister, but had to be evacuated in 2009 owing to its state of dilapidation. It then underwent a major $32 million restoration in 2016, which saw designers integrate modern convenience while maintaining the interior and exterior finish. Responding to question on the state of the building, UDICOT confirms it had been previously tasked with undertaking remedial works, which were ongoing. So Trinidad and Tobago, if remedial work is ongoing, in the White House, you expect the Prime Minister to go in there? Let's be logical. You expect the Prime Minister to go in there? Two 386-716 is the number to call in, viewers. Remember that. I mean, when Manning, Dr. Rowley came into power, what he said about the car that the former PM was driving, he said inside it was stink. He said, oh God, he couldn't take on his stench. And they bought a new car for him. And they bought a new car for him and he started to move with a new brand car. How quickly we forget that. How quickly we forget that. You know, it's sad that we're on one side, you know, it's really, really sad. But like I said, I am not for any political party. So I am just giving them a little time. Let all the ministers swear in. Let the opposition ministers swear in. Let it get accustomed to their office. We have news going on. We have everything else going on in Trinidad and Tobago. But the day is going to come. The day is going to come where we, at Real Talk, are going to hold them accountable for it. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to hear Alison West denies a citation of Whitehall when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, remember viewers, Real Talk Financing, 14 Caroni Savannah Road in Chaguanas and 25 Cipero Street in San Fernando. Two licensed financial institutions that is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers, the highest interest rate that is being paid out by any financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago considered fixed deposit is Real Talk Financing. Yes, interest up front. Trinidad and Tobago. When I say interest up front, I mean, when you contact our office, you set up your appointment, you come down to our office, you sign up your fixed deposit, right? We are going to give you your interest up front. That is our office number. Call our office, set up an appointment. When you are finished setting up your fixed deposit, with Real Talk Financing, in 14 days' time, the office is going to call you to come and collect a check of your upfront interest. We are going to calculate the 5 years. That amount of money you're going to get at the end of 5 years, you're going to get it within 7 to 14 days' time. No other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is doing that. None. We are the first, and we will remain the first. Yes, you're hearing it from Saieed. nobody in Trinidad and Tobago is going to match it or beat it. And they're not going to do what we are doing, giving you your upfront interest. Remember that, Trinidad and Tobago. So as you go back to our program tonight, the Whitehall is not unfit for use. The building remain active use and continue to serve its purpose as the office of the Prime Minister, at least that was the opposition up until April 28, 2025. The statement comes from former Minister of Public Administration, Alison West, who denied attestation that the office of the Prime Minister at Whitehall is unfit for use, adding that the building is structurally sound, safe, and fully operational. West's statement comes after Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar worked her first day on the job from her home in South Trinidad. In an interview, West said, the building had been carefully restored between 2016 and 2019, with Judicata examining its basement area following reports of drainage issue in 2024 during the rainy season. She said the findings were specifics that the area and did not impact the remainder or the remaining of the building, which continued to be used without restrictions. Moving along, viewers. Acting Police Commissioner Junior Benjamin is now confident that the target set by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to have a safer Trinidad and Tobago in 6 months is possible. I remembered a former Minister of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, telling us, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, it is not his job to make you all feel safe. I remember a former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is saying that if we give guns to everybody, we will become the Wild Wild West. I remember a senator saying, Ranuka Sukla Sagram Singh saying, the PNM runs the house, and we are not going to stand. No grounds. In other words, we are not going to support any legislation or amendment that would say stand your ground, because why? The PNM runs the house. What is the crime rate today? What is the murder rate today? What is the robbery rate today? What is housebreaking rate today? You tell me. Call, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
And with you, God, and the right-thinking citizens of this country who voted for change, this country is going to go forward, and we will become like Indonesia and probably Singapore and maybe Saudi Arabia. So we will keep our fingers on the knobs and the control. So let me congratulate the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
And I never knew that she was from Bodna village in South. That is
correct.
why she's so diplomatic.
Yeah.
You see how this lady is diplomatic, and I hope those other hooligans in that red dangerous mafia organization learn from this lady. She should have been there a long time. Look at the lady, how she's well-spoken, calm, and unlike Clonging, but tonight he very calm and cool and collective and laughing. But you paid for the sins that you committed, Clonging, and you will continue to pay for it. So nothing is going to fool the citizen of this country and have them change their heart. You insulted the citizen of this country, the people who hired you and put you there to work for them. You insulted them and laughed at us. We will not forget that, Clonging. And you know, Clonging is now the vice chairman of the PNM. and how the lady named Dolly, that Dolly lady, total failure in education, who tried to mash up education. She's the chairman of the PNM party. So citizens take note of that. So, but I hope the opposition leader will deal with them, and they have to come in line to make this country a better place. And Mr. Said, and to the Minister of Homeland Security, we will have none of that with the President of the Police Social Welfare Association urging him to fix the police service first with issuing firearms to them. We will have none of this. Don't get the citizens frightened and on the wrong side here,
Correct.
because police have been renting out their weapons to commit crime. Police have been using marked police vehicles to commit crime against the citizens of this country.
True.
There's still a citizen in this country who police kidnap his son, murder him, and all the evidence is there, video of police officers, and today not one of those police officers are arrested. So Gideon, the president of the Police Social Welfare Association, you get your act together. That will not happen in this country, and I know the head of the National Security Council, the Honorable Prime Minister, listen to Real Talk. Put your people to listen to Real Talk, where you will hear the real issues and how to deal with it. We will have none of that in this country. Mr. Said, God bless you. You keep up the great work you are doing to make this country a better place. We will succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Junior Benjamin is saying in 6 months, it is possible. It is possible. We have Erla. When last I hear anything from Erla? But nevertheless, she should have listened when I told her, Erla, go home. Erla, go home. You didn't want to hear. Now you wish you probably did go home. But nevertheless, the PM made these comments after her swearing-in ceremony. Listen to the Prime Minister.
I believe we can do it. I don't know if you recall the 2010 to 2015 period. We did bring crime down to the lowest, in fact, in 31 years. And we didn't have many of the things we have today. Today we have the technology, far more technology that can help us in the fight against crime. So I'm quite confident that we will be able to bring crime down. We may not be able to eradicate it completely, but I do believe and we'll give it every shot that we have to bring the crime levels down.
Benjamin said, this goal is achievable. Nothing that this year's murder toll and another categories of crime will also observe. Listen to this.
I believe that once we continue along this trajectory with the support of the government and with the support that is going to be given to us, I am certain that it will be a realistic feat.
He also added that the TTPS was persistent on maintaining the constant approach to crime suppression and reminded officers of their responsibility. Speaking previously, Minister of Defense Wayne Surge stated that Homeland Security will deal with internal matters such as gang warfare and warfare's issue. Listen to this.
Homeland Security, just like I guess Home Affairs in the UK, to deal with internal matters. So the police, prisons, crime, as from the perspective of what is happening locally, the internecine warfare between different gangs and things like that. But there's another component to national security, which is transnational, which exists beyond the borders, so that you have the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, because we don't produce coca plants and so on here. We don't manufacture weapons. So the international element of crime, because to solve crime, quite apart from the short-term issues, we have long-term issues with dealing with the mindset from a young age, so that we try to guide.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to remind you all something. We had, under the PNM administration, Faris Al-Rawi, once an Attorney General, knew all the gangs in Trinidad and Tobago. They know how much gangs we had in Trinidad and Tobago. They know how much members they had in each gangs in Trinidad and Tobago. Keep this in mind. We have the Minister of National Security, former Minister, Hines, Fitzgerald Hines. He also knew how many gangs there were in Trinidad and Tobago. He also knew how much gang members were in each gang in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a former Minister of National Security. Remember that, eh? Good. We have earlier a former Commissioner of Police who also knew how many gangs there were in Trinidad and Tobago, how many members were in each gangs in Trinidad and Tobago. Now we have a new administration where the Ministry of National Security has a split. All well and good. All well and good. We have Wayne Sturge, who's a prominent individual in Trinidad and Tobago. We also have, for Homeland Security, former Superintendent of Police for Trinidad and Tobago, Roger Alexander, who I believe was also the head of SWAT before becoming a minister. I am definitely sure him being the superintendent will know how many gangs there are in Trinidad and Tobago, how many individuals are there in each gang in Trinidad and Tobago. So I want to see going forward, as they sit in their ministry, if they are going to allow gang violence and gang running tooth and gang killing one another just for a tooth. Is that going to continue under this administration? Like I said, Trinidad and Tobago, the past administration, nobody said anything about too much of murder. Nobody didn't rail up at no minister except Saieed. Everybody was okay with it. Now that Roger Alexander is in charge of this department, I want to see how much of you all will come out and demand in the next 30 days coming. Trust me, I on television, I will call you out and I will put you on your place on this program that goes live every night from 7 to 8 p.m. Because when the PNM administration was governing Trinidad and Tobago for 9 years, you all didn't brag, not even the hair in all your body. Not one strong hair make noise. So I will give Alexander and that Minister of National Security at least 30 days to settle in. Get to know your people. Get to know what department they have. Get to know where's your revenue. And then we're going to deal with it from there. Why did I say that? Oh, Saieed, how you could tell the man you're giving them 13 days? 30 days. You see the rest of the clowns we had before? I didn't expect nothing from them. I didn't expect nothing from them. What I am expecting is a change in the level of gang warfare in Trinidad and Tobago. Why am I saying that? He was a superintendent of police. He knew the run-ins. He knew the office. He knew the groundwork. He knew the law system. He knows the courthouse. Yes, he knows all that. So we at Real Talk, I am going to give him a little 30 days to settle in, know who your staff is, know how they function, because this is something new for you. And when you hit the ground running, That is where the results come in. So, switching gears a bit. Go for a break. Former top cop and leader of the National Transformation Alliance, Gary Griffith, is in full support of a more rigorous process with regard to application for firearm users license as announced by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander on Monday. Let's hope that they don't turn out to be like the former Prime Minister. If we give everybody gun, it will be the wild, wild west. Let me tell you something. The businessmen in Trinidad and Tobago need firearm to protect their family. They are a target. It's better you have a firearm to defend yourself when an intruder who you didn't invite to come in your house, rather than having no firearm and getting killed in your house. Watching your wife being raped, watching your daughter being raped, watching them beat, getting licks, bleeding, eye bust, swell up, all kind of thing. So Gary, relax yourself a little bit now. Relax yourself a little bit now. You had your turn. Griffith said, this must be the case in order to obtain an FUL, whilst not making it impossible to acquire one. Listen to this.
We cannot give more than about 1,000 firearms per annum, because that's about 3 per day that you're looking at. And to do that, you have to go through a rigorous process of due diligence, background check, checking the finances of the individual, psychometric testing, speaking to their spouse. All of these things must be done to ensure that the right person could get a firearm. So that's why in the 6,000 firearms that I issued, not one was lost, stolen, or used for a crime. And there's a reason for that. There must be a rigorous process. Failure to do that, the wrong persons could get it. They could have a negligent discharge. They can lose their firearm. They can use it for a crime. They can use it against their spouse.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago. According to Griffith, the former minister appeared to think that it was okay for criminals to have firearms, but not law-abiding citizens. He said, prior to him being the 10th Commissioner of Police, only the 1% had access to firearms. He described how he handled the situation without watering it down. Listen to this.
I realized that only the rich and famous and people who had close affiliation with the who's who had access to get firearms. That is why before Gary Griffith, there would be like 200 or 300 firearms being issued by commissioners of police every single year, and there were over 35,000 applications, and there wasn't even the common courtesy to even respond to these persons. What I did was to make sure that we can provide as many firearms as possible to law-abiding citizens, whilst not in any way watering it down. So I would have been issuing about 1,000 per annum to civilians and 1,000 to law enforcement officials.
Commenting on the enforcement of stand your ground laws, as announced by Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar on Monday, Griffith says, although he supports this, there must be a clear indication of what the law entails. Well, we understand that. We understand that, Trinidad and Tobago, but I want to listen to this.
We have to be very careful for it not to be perceived that stand your ground means that anyone who could just venture into your property, you have the right to kill them. There must be some degree of use of force to neutralize the individual. So I am sure as a Prime Minister, she would be given the briefing by the relevant officials to explain that the laws, it is to ensure that the rights of the law-abiding citizens will not be abused by criminal elements who can venture into your property, and there's very little you can do. So first you have to give them the access to firearms, and secondly, to make sure that the law-abiding citizen has some degree of protection if and when he or she has to utilize that firearm to protect his or herself.
Now, I understand what the commissioner is saying, you know. I understand that fully well. But the thing is, nowadays bandits Nowadays, home invasion, it's different. It's different. They jump in your fence, killing your dog, breaking down your door, beating you, abusing you, raping you, taking away you have, your teeth, they're loading up your car and you're going with it. It's different. It's totally different to 10 years back. That is why it is always say, if I, Saeed, did not invite you into my property, don't come. Don't come at all. Because from the time I see you in my property, I telling you point blank, again shots. It doesn't matter what time of the morning. It doesn't matter what time of the night. It does not matter what time of the day. As long as I did not open my gate for you to come through that open gate, what you get inside my property you will take. And I could say tonight that the business sector would say yes. I could safely say tonight the homeowners in Trinidad and Tobago will agree with me in the same manner. As long as I didn't invite you in my personal property, take what you get. I remember a senior police officer who was in a meeting. He said about 300 people, 400 people was there. I am not telling you to go and buy an illegal firearm, but I am telling you to defend your home at all cost. It's sad, eh? It's sad. Although former top cop remain optimistic with a new government, he believes once the perception of crime is taken away, a crime reduction will flow to suit. Listen to this one more time.
It is more than just the police service that has to be changed. It has to do with different laws being made, amended. You have to look at the use of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, which hopefully we'll see value of with the use of, with the implementation of the Ministry of Defense. So with all of that, I think what is even more important than crime reduction is to take away the perception and fear of crime, which is just as important as crime reduction itself. That is an easier win. It's a low-hanging fruit, and I think that is what the focus should be on over the next few months.
Trinidad and Tobago, in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months, we are going to hear the new laws, the new legislations, the new amendments for new things in Trinidad and Tobago. And we are going to see how this new government is going to govern our country. So I just want to say this again. For the people who coming out on social media, you all were dumb for 9 years. Remain dumb for a few months again. Because under the last administration, I wasn't seeing all that popping out so often. So give it a rest. Calm yourself. We are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we're going to talk about Michaela Pandey and the Stand Your Ground legislation right after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Welcome back.
So remember, viewers, it's only Real Talk Financing that is going to offer you 5% on the interest up front. Remember, now that the country has a new government, now that you all think things will change, you all can make your investments. You all can go for vacation, repair your house, buy a new car, pay a medical bill, put away money for your sons. When you open your fixed deposit, you could put money in the credit union with your interest. It's only with Real Talk you get it like this, you know. No other places, you know. Only at Real Talk. So, back to the news. In other news now, viewers, political leader of the Patriotic Front, Makila Pandey, has voiced her opinion on Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessa's announcement to introduce Stand Your Ground laws. Speaking during an interview, the PF leader says she does not believe in turning the country into the Wild Wild West. Listen to this.
I do not believe in turning Trinidad and Tobago into the Wild Wild West. My view isn't that you just arm everybody and we have a big shootout. I'd like to know that there are safeties within that bill, that, you know, when people are being given, awarded firearms, that it is done over the table and that things are done properly.
Now, Pandey did not hesitate to mention how people can turn a blind eye to a certain situation. Although she said her statement is nothing personal, she reiterated her disapproval of John Jeremy in the post of Attorney General Makila.
What I find so amazing is how people quite disingenuously sing for their supper, including the Law Association, who themselves brought a no-confidence motion in John Jeremy. I believe Wayne Sturge, who's now part of the government, was part of that and initiated and instigated that.
Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlett, have stated that among his priorities in office would be to introduce a more child-centered learning experience in public school system while making full use of technological tools to enhance training. I believe Michael Dowlett was a former principal. Tallman, Dowlett is a former principal. So he is the perfect individual for the Ministry of Education, a retired principal, somebody who knows about the school system, somebody who knows about bullying in school, somebody who knows what it takes to go through school, somebody who would implement measures to make sure that your kids are safe and secure and learn while they are in a safe environment from 8 to 3 during the day. Nice choice. Nice choice. Now, Dowlett worked for 15 years as a principal of Naparima College before his retirement in 2021. 15 years as a principal. 15 years as a principal. Dowlett said he was confident that his decades of experience as a teacher and a school administrator would be valuable to his current role. On his first day at office, he received many briefs which contained the programs and policies of the Education Ministry. Dowlett said he will soon be looking at the alignment of government policies for education before deciding on priorities such as returning of an upgrade gate and scholarship program, laptop for students, opening of weekday campus, among other initiatives. Trinidad and Tobago is not just promise. Let's just wait and see. You see, the only thing we could do at this point is wait. That is the only thing we could do at this point. And any one of you in Trinidad and Tobago gonna understand. You need to wait. What did your former Prime Minister told you? Keith Rowley, what did he say? We know of the government a little bit. So I am telling you, have a little relaxing time. A little relaxing time, unbuckle your belt a little bit. Because I am definitely sure this administration is not going to tell you tighten your belt. I'll relax a little bit, people. We have to get the job done, and hopefully we will. The US-based Human Rights Watch is calling on the new Trinidad and Tobago government to take immediate steps to repatriate more than 90 nationals, including 50 children who remain detained in war-torn camp and prison in northeast Syria and Iraq. In a letter to Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, Human Rights, Children Rights Advocate, Director Joe Becker urged the PM to act quickly to bring home all detained Trinidad and Tobago nationals for rehabilitation and reintegration. So, all of us, you see, this is what I can't handle. Come back to me. This is what I couldn't handle, and this is what I've been telling you all. Human rights organization. Saturday we had the swearing in of a new Prime Minister. Today we had a few days up the road, we have the swearing in of the opposition leader. The PNM administration was for 9 years, 9 solid years, 12 months in a year, for 9 years. How come the PNM administration didn't bring them? Foreign Affairs, where was Amy Brown? I'm just saying something. Where was Amy Brown? Act immediately, the letter says. What did Amy Brown do? For 9 years, come on, say something. Say something. Nobody bashing, but Amy Brown was here under the PNM administration for 9 years. Human Rights Organization, letter to the PM, the present PNM the PNM UNC Prime Minister. The present UNC Prime Minister. Is who? Kamala Prasad Bisasa. When was she sworn in? A few days gone. Human Rights Organization sent a letter. Act immediately. 9 years. Kid Rowley was there. Anybody come from Syria? And this is what I'm talking about. The Prime Minister ain't even get the smell of the new office. Act immediately. We have Trinidad and Tobago citizens in Syria. Bring them home immediately. 9 years. Kid Rowley was there. What he do for all you? Nobody can say nothing now. Everybody mouth zip. I'll side Sada talk or side your bashing. This is what it's like to hit all of the facts before I hammer the nail. It's sad, you know. It's sad. And this is why people don't like Saieed. Because they're talking the truth. But I don't care if you like me or not, the facts is the facts. Black could be black. Black can be no other color than black. Attorney for Paria Fuel Trading Company. Here they say, requested time to seek instruction from its new board of directors as the company faces changes under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, stemming from the 2022 diving tragedy. So here it is. The government stepped in. The PNM government stepped in. Stuart Young said $1 million we're going to give the family. Now Trinidad and Tobago, the Paria Fuel, the attorneys for Paria Fuel Trading Company request time to seek instruction from its new board of directors. What the new board of directors have to do with the decision that Paria took before? What does the new board have to do? When I tell all they was playing a game, all they didn't want to hear me. All they didn't want to hear say, oh, but they go get their money. What's Stuart Young going with $1 million? Stuart Young needs to come out and tell the family when they get in $1 million. That is what he needs to do now. Call a press conference and say, well, you know what? We at Paria, we're going to give the families $1 million. Well, I can't like me, you know, and I don't care. So viewers, it's that time where I must say we have come to the end of our program tonight, but nevertheless, I will run tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 and we'll be right back here another night for another real talk with Saieed. Until then,